Yeah, so another point on the board. Don't think it was our best performance, to be honest. And I was quite critical, might be the right word, I guess. After the game, when I kind of spoke with Andy, I just didn't think that we really had the right intensity in our game for periods of it. We still created some stuff, and certainly in the second half there were plenty of opportunities for us to, maybe go ahead. And then the game can change. It was always felt like a game where the first goal might be key on it. But we knew Crawley Green were going to be tough to play against. They've been improving, and they're a good team. They've got some good physicality about themselves. They work really hard. They're difficult to play against, and I just didn't really think we played with enough bravery. In our build-up play, certainly to try and break them down. We turned the ball over a little bit too easy, and then in the aspects in terms of trying to get onto second balls and to try and compete with them in that side of things, I think for periods they were better than us. Desi's made a really important save for us, obviously from the penalty. We got caught on the break in that moment. So look, we'll take the point. It was not what we set out for. We set out to try and win those games. We did have opportunities where we could have done that, but equally it could have gone the other way. So, my major point was the performance level. And that's something that we need to address. I'm not naive enough though to expect that it's always going to be positive and always going to be kind of moving in the right direction. We're going to have little setbacks, along the way, and there's going to be times where we don't always perform at the level we want to. But what the lads can make sure they do is make sure that their approach is right, and their intensity and all those kind of some of those intangible things a little bit, that they're at the right level. So disappointed, not to have performed better and to go to win at home. That's what we wanted to do. But they say it's another game we kept a clean sheet and we picked up a point. So we moved on from there. Yeah, a cup competition that we wanted to do well in. We put a strong team out. We had to change some things. We had some kind of injuries that picked up pretty late in the day, and it was then kind of okay. Well, how do we pull the side together a little bit in terms of what we wanted to look like? There was opportunity to players who haven't started games, and we were maybe short of minutes, so we needed to get minutes back into, or been out in for longer term injuries. So that was a positive, and I thought that. We started the game really well. I thought that that our build-up play was much improved from what we had on the Saturday against Crawley Green, and we got into some really good attacking situations, but without really kind of testing the goalkeeper in a way that I would have wanted us to. And that's a challenge for the boys that I'm kind of trying to put at them now, really, which is we've got to improve in that final third of the pitch. That's stuff that we'll work on in training, and we might look to add players to the group potentially who can help us do that. As we expected, Winslow were a really tough team. They're really competitive. They work really hard. They came back into the game, but then actually fought again in the start of the second half. We got back on top of it. Great to see Liam get his first goal, and that was good. And I thought that we were in pretty good control of the game at that point. But then we had to again make some changes. Enforced a little bit through injury, so we're kind of struggling on that front a little bit. But then the last 15-20 minutes, we really let the game slip out of our hands, which was disappointing. Look, as I said, there were players on the pitch there who looked tired, and they hadn't really played 90 minutes, some of them all season, some of them for quite a while. But we should have been able to manage the game better than what we did, and we made a couple of critical mistakes really that allowed Winslow to get the game and the result and to go through to the next round. So they fully deserved that in the end. We didn't make our periods count enough, and we probably need to go and get the second goal when we were on top. We didn't do that. We allowed them back into the game, and we gave some soft goals away. But there were real positives in the night. Mikey came in, 16 years of age in goal, and did really well. Fantastic learning experience for him. Really short notice as well for him. So he reacted really well. As I said, lots of good minutes in for players who needed them. We looked at a different shape, which is good as well. It's always going to be important that we can have a bit of flexibility in terms of what we do. But ultimately disappointed that we didn't get through to the next round of that cup, because it's one that we felt like we could do well in, that we wanted to do well in, but unfortunately just wasn't there for us on Tuesday night. Yeah, so it's a little bit of the walking wounded at the moment. So we know that Desi's going to be missing through the concussion protocol for a couple of games. So that's a blow for us, no doubt. He's been really good recently, and a couple of clean sheets in our last couple of games at home. So he's been performing well. So that's a loss. So we're going to have to address that, and then we've got really kind of just a long list of players that have kind of, some of them have got maybe injuries that may be looking a little bit more significant than we would like. Others that we're hoping that we might be able to get through to the weekend with some treatment tonight and see how they might look in the session. So that part of things is a little bit difficult, but the squad's there. We're not short of numbers, but just some players in different positions that are kind of struggling a little bit with it. But we hope could be back in training today, which will be a big bonus. So that's it in terms of the injury pieces. There might be a bit of movement in and out over the next week or so, but nothing confirmed as of this moment. We've got 7 days out on a player in the wide areas we think might be able to offer us something, and then we've got maybe another position that we would like to maybe add someone if we can do, but good players at this stage of the season aren't always available, and so we have to have a little bit of patience with that. We lost Cody. Actually, that's one of the major ones we've lost. Cody's got a broken hand, so we're going to be without him as well for probably really now until January and into mid-January, sort of towards February time. So that's another loss. So we can hopefully mitigate that with adding that one body that we want to do, hopefully before the weekend. But again, we need a few things to fall our way for that to happen. So it's been stretched a little bit, and it's been a tough time in terms of injuries really over the last 6-7 weeks. But I always look at it that it's giving other lads opportunities to be able to step up and show what they can do. And on the whole, lads are doing well with that. It's just a case of really seeing what we can do ahead of Saturday. Yeah, we know it's going to be a really tough game. We knew that was going to be the case when we played them here, in October, and it was a good game. It's competitive. They've got a really strong team. They've had a really strong season so far. They're right up there near the top where they would want to be. Gav always has his teams really well set up. They're a really hard-working team, but they've got real quality as well, in the top end of the pitch. So, with the conditions, it's obviously going to be a bit touch and go about whether that game goes ahead. The pitch is obviously not the best over there, but it's fine. I like the challenge of being able to go to these places, and I know that we'll be up for that. We'll want to go there with the best available squad that we can get, and as I said previously, we're hopeful that we'll get a few there today. That we can get kind of included for Saturday, but it's going to be a really good test. We're going to need to be better than we were in our last away game, obviously at MK Irish. But I feel like on the whole, against teams that have been above us in the table, we've competed well in a lot of those games, and we're going to need to do the same again. If there's anything short, in terms of the attitude and application on Saturday, Cockfoss are a team that are going to exploit that. So we're going to need to be mindful of that. But we know as well that we can hurt them in different areas. So as long as we're prepared well, we'll get the boys ready tonight and obviously on Saturday. And if we go the right approach, we'll go there with a good chance.